Good afternoon, everyone. If you would please do me the honor of letting me know, can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see my screen? Hey, Jerry. Hey, Colin. Colin, glad that you could make it. Looking forward to getting you squared away and signed up today. Vernon, how are you? Vernon, I know that Jacob's been contacting you with a pretty important message. I hope you'll take advantage of his generosity here today. Tim, good to see you. Welcome, Jim. Welcome, everyone. Listen, it's an honor. Jacob, just want to let you know Vernon's here. Yes. And I'm excited to share this time with you here this afternoon. I'm the founder and co-owner here of Back to the Future Trading. We've been doing this for 13 years. This is our anniversary every May. And 3,000 customers, every major financial market of the world, 4.8 out of 5.0 Trustpilot rating, and just a wonderful, fabulous customer community of traders in the futures, forex, crypto, currencies, options, equities, markets, and I'm thrilled to be here. We're very excited. If you're new here, if you're getting ready to sign up this week, thank you. We have some great stuff to show you here today and some things to teach you. If you're an existing customer, welcome back. It's sort of like a little tailgating party every week, and it's so glad to see familiar faces and names like Stanley and Tim and Tom. as well as our consummate, not dead yet, above ground, still breathing mascot, Jerry. Welcome, good to see you as well again. Wes, welcome. Alex, James, it's just such, Mr. Marshall, it's so really good to see you. If I didn't mention your name, please don't be offended. There's just a lot of people here today. In a nutshell, we believe some pretty radical things. We believe markets are rigged. We believe that if 90% of intelligent people with college degrees and successful business backgrounds are failing during trading, then markets are more like casinos, and institutional trading investment banks are more like casino owners, the Bellagio, the Paris Hotel, Caesar's Palace, and whatnot. We believe that if 90% of people are losing 90% of their funds in 90 days, and those people are using traditional, historically lagging, generally awful tools, approaches, gurus, and indicators, that there has to be a better way. My background is in engineering. I was the kid when I was little who took things apart and tried to understand how they worked. And so I've been designing and engineering and building things since I was a young teenager. My father, his father before him, it's what we do. And when there's something that's broken or not working right, we take it apart, try to understand how it's working, and then put it back together generally better than we found it. We have the same washing machine for the entirety of my infanthood through adolescent, young adult life. And by the time my dad was done with it, it had parts in it from the airplanes he was tasked to maintain at Pan American at John F. Kennedy Airport. It was better than it was when we bought it. And so I'm hoping here today, now that you know a little bit about what we believe and what my approach to this and our background is, that you'll see there's a new, modern, innovative way to look at markets. And if history is any indication across the 3,000 customers and the ones that have left us a 4 or 5 star rating, I'm hoping today that by the end of this webinar, you'll be convinced, not on my accord or because of anything I've said, but because of the data that's been presented and the results after the fact. So this is a guru-free indicator demonstration. Everything I'm about to show you today is irrelevant is relevant to itself, and I am irrelevant with regards to it, meaning my opinions about how the software should be interpreted, strategery, dead or alive. The outputs from the software coupled with the signals we told you to look at and the setups we've taught you in the emails, all that stuff was baked in, carved in stone 2 days ago when I sent out the forecasts, meaning I'm just a monkey with a mouse right now. We're all reviewing together what happened, independent of my opinions, my discretion, my experiences, my motives. Everything we're about to see right now happened after we gave nearly 18,000 people the times and directions for futures, forex, and cryptocurrency markets. Also following up on the signals from the equities workspace we looked at last week. How did we do? Well, let's take a look. Let's get rid of my ugly mug. I do not have monkeypox. I want you all to know that I am free of the pox. A pox on you and your home. Thank you for that. So in essence, kind of reiterating what I said a moment ago, We're the only company, to the best of my knowledge and ability, that gives out times in the future for the markets and instruments most of you are interested in. And so we're the only company giving those times out in advance on a web page that looks like this. And if you're on our mailing list and you accepted, yes, I want to get mail from these knuckleheads, you would have had access to charts like this. And we'll go over those forecasts in a moment. And we've had these published since Tuesday, in fact, 2 days before this webinar. We're the only company that also tells you how we're going to judge the profitability of those signals after the fact. We'll give you the rules and say, here's a basic system. And 2 days later, we come together and say, hey, did it work or did it not work? Now, consider the veritable, impossible nature of what I've just said. It's ridiculous unless what I've said at the beginning is true. If banks truly do rig markets, and we have ample evidence that they do, then following the patterns in time, the wake that they leave behind with time signals shouldn't, or should, if we believe it and it's true, should produce a positive expectancy. Meaning if banks are rigging markets at certain times and we can find those times and trade when those times roll around again, then we should be pretty good by the end of today's lesson. But if everything I've said is hokum, garbage, nonsense, then at the very end of today's webinar, you're going to let me know how stupid this whole thing was and an absolute waste of your time. Spoiler alert, after 13 years and over 600 webinars, it hasn't happened once though. So let's take a look. Basically, as an engineer and having met some pretty intelligent people across the last 51 years of my life, I've learned that there's no such thing as random. Whether we're looking at complex weather systems, economic models, or background noise in any system, there are always patterns that emerge. Nature, participants in nature as we are, is a finely tuned, complex, near precise instrument. And even in the noise, there is always a pattern to be found. And so when we're looking at complex information, and I love this example, we might not see the information at first. And that doesn't mean that there isn't a pattern here. It just means you don't have the tools to decode it and understand what's embedded inside of that noise. If you don't have the tools to decode the noise or see the patterns, it's just noise to you. And this, I believe, is how institutional traders and investment banks pull the wool over people's eyes. Because we're not hardwired to see these time-based patterns, it doesn't come naturally. They continue to perpetrate a very large misdeed against traders every day of the week. And so when you and I look at a chart like this, we see just kind of dynamic, chaotic noise, bounces up and down and highs and lows, and gurus try to convince us that there's ways to decode it historically after the fact. They tell us about their no lag indicators and their 29,000 years of experience at some exchange somewhere, and they had a coat and wore a tie. And if you just apply this whatchamajigger crazy doodad thing with a free trial, you will be rich beyond your wildest dreams trading 100 contracts on the ES. That's everything I ever heard. And so our approach is to say, hey, let's train a modern day, new, innovative program to assume the game is rigged. Let's assume the game is rigged. And let's turn the program loose based on the premise there are times, maybe not every day, maybe every once in a while, but frequently enough, there are times where Jamie Dimon's buddies over at JP Morgan are pushing the button a little harder than they normally do. Pushing up Tesla, pushing up Twitter, pushing down Bank of America. Let's assume that's the case. And then the computer comes back with an answer. The time is either there or it's not. It's either there or it's not. But anyone who's ever spoken to any number of successful traders in any period of time has always come away with the perception that there has to be some form of an edge. Markets can't be totally chaotic and random. Lagging indicators, stochastics, MACD, moving averages, order flow, volume, that can't be the best way to approach it. There has to be patterns in the randomness. And so the way we prove it to you, outside of the scope of guru knowledge, secret, special, sit at my feet, young students knowledge, is we say, listen, let's send everyone who's interested in learning more the times and directions the software has discovered for Wednesday and for Thursday. And so for the E-mini S&P 5-minute chart, on Tuesday, the software had uncovered some landmines, some places that it wanted us to be aware of before the market opened on Thursday. Ding, 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 ding. And it's important for me that you understand something. A time doesn't appear on the chart unless that time has demonstrated irregular regularity. So imagine like the old World War II movies. There's a submarine under the ocean puttering around. Maybe it's got that special magnetic drive from the once popular Alec Baldwin movie Hunt for Red October with Sean Connery. I'm sitting here in my chair. And so that submarine, if you remember those movies, would send out radar pings. Pong, pong. And on a screen somewhere, a guy with a set of cans on his ears would watch. Pong, pong. And if there was something out there, if there was another submarine, for example, some other submarine was out there skulking around in the darkness, usually some nefarious country, right, that we wanted everyone to think was our enemy, that radar would return a ping, and it would bounce back. Hang on, here we go. That radar would bounce back to the antenna on the submarine, and it would show up as a target on the screen. That's how radar works. And so when we're looking at this histogram that we've sent out to everybody on Tuesday for Wednesday and Thursday, these times, the blue and the white times, represent a target that's been hit, a reflection of a time where banks or somebody is rigging a market. What do I mean by that? Well, it's pretty evident here, and we'll go through this. What I mean is that everywhere we see a blue line on this chart is a time where the software found lately on a 5-minute E-mini S&P chart that somebody was putting their thumb a little more firmly on the scale. There was an imbalance. More often than not, lately, across thousands of historical bars, someone somewhere is pushing prices down at these times. It's happening frequently enough that it's developed into a pattern so far as what the algorithm has uncovered. Do you understand that? If the markets weren't being pushed down at these times a lot lately, they wouldn't appear on this screen. But the fact that they do, pong, pong, means that they have. So everywhere we see a blue line on this chart, whether it's a 1 minute chart, an hourly chart, a daily, or even a weekly chart, is evidence of an irregular, regular pattern in time. And vice versa, consequently, all of the signals on the bottom of the chart are hits for buying pressure. Somebody somewhere in the etherverse, in the financial underworld that is the rigged manipulative banking industry, they're driving the prices of the S&P E-mini up on a 5-minute chart with irregular regularity. Pong, 520. Pong, 820. Pong, 115. These times only exist on this chart because they are occurring frequently enough as a buying pressure behavior pattern for the algorithm to sniff it out and signal back to the hunters that it's on the scent of something important. 950. Otherwise, these times wouldn't be here. This in itself, the fact that there are any times on this chart, is direct, incontrovertible evidence that these markets are rigged. Okay, any questions about that before we go any deeper? Pretty fascinating stuff, right? So before we go deeper, there are two things we're going to look at here today. Number one, how reliable were the signals at all? We'll look at them in terms of their raw state. When we waited for a blue time, did the market push down or stop going up? When we waited for a white time, did the market go up and or stop going down? We won't necessarily affix any kind of rules-based trading system to those signals. We just want to see, did the times do anything in relation to our expectation? Vernon, do you understand that? We're going to look at them raw. No trading systems, no entries, no exits, just looking at them in their purest raw state. Did the market go up or down at all? So now let's kind of pull out of the PowerPoint and take a look at some stuff. Here's the E-mini S&P. And these are the times that I gave everybody on Tuesday. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of work my way from left to right. And I'm going to draw an arrow near the times where the thing we were expecting to happen took place. So at 5:20, which is, what is that, 9:20, 10:20 European time. Vernon, do you see what happened at 5:20? The market was going up from 3:30 to 3:55 London time around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It drove back down at the predictive time. And then Vernon, right here, it was going sideways and then sideways no more until when? 7:40. Here's 7:40 right here. So can you guys see out the gate, there's some fishiness here. It looks like to me, Vernon, we just nailed 1, 2, 3 moves that we've known about since when? Steven, since when? Since Tuesday. Huh. Gee willikers. Something's up here. And then the market does something very curious. At 7:40, It goes down again right before the unemployment report, right before the GDP report. There's always some report that everybody's scared of. And the software here warned us, hey, 8:20, we want to watch for buyers to come in until when? 8:20 until 9:40. Now look at the chart. And so far we've nailed 1, 2, 3, 4 signals. And here comes an economic report. GDP was minus 95 million, worse than analysts' expectations. GDP was worse? Vernon, there's no way the market's going to go up at 8:20. But the software says, watch, because there'll be a move up until 9:40, a very short respite, and then another move up at 9:50 until 10:25. That's bananas. It seems crazy, but remember, we've had this information since when? Tuesday. All of you did. All of you. Now we slide the chart over. Here we go. 8:20 until where? 9:40. And look, the market goes sideways. There's a doji candle, spinning top until when? 9:50. Vernon, what did the software tell us to watch out for at 9:50 now? Buying pressure until when? 10:25. Where have we seen this before? We've seen this in the forecast that I gave 18,000 people, the output from the software for free, a free trial on Tuesday. Okay, now watch what happens at 10:25. Ready? I want you to see this. This is important. I want you to see there's a retracement. Somebody tries to take profit and push prices down at the close of 10:25. We actually have a pattern named after that pattern right there. You can see the way that thing lined up right there. Vernon, is what happened right here. Can we agree on that? The market stopped, paused, and pushed down. The market stopped going up. When? At 10:25. Well, who said anything about 10:25? You're making this stuff after the fact. Oh, crap. No, it's real. He did give it to us 2 days ago. Man. When was the market supposed to go back up? 10:55? You see where this is going, guys? This is the largest US index that I can point to. It's also the most manipulated. The most manipulated markets have the most volume in them. So trading was supposed to continue and go higher between 10:55 and 11:30. Now, what happens at 11:30? The same stuff. The market goes into a profit-taking mode. When? Right here. They took profits here and here at 10:25 and 11:30, just like pong, pong, the output warned us about 2 days ago. So when I ask the question, did the software, here's the last signal coming up into lunch, right? 12:05, and we're supposed to go up until 12:50. It slows down for a little bit and keeps going. So I'm not going to count that signal here. But if we look at the signals from the Euro session through the US lunchtime session so far, Vernon, Chris, can we agree as a body of observers that as far as the signals are concerned, the raw information, we don't know what to do with any of it yet. Tom, Giannis, John, can we agree as a community of observers with no bias that these signals here, that we were waiting for something to happen, the something happened a statistically relevant portion of the time? What do I mean by statistically relevant? I mean, if I sat here and I said, hey, was it 0 to 25% accurate in our expectations, 25 to 50% accurate, 50 to 75, or 75 to 100? Would it be okay? Would it be okay, Colin, if I said the thing we were expecting to happen, no stops, no targets, none of that, but the thing that I was expecting to see, the behavior pattern, happened again 60 to 70% of the time? Would it be okay with everyone here if I said 6 to 7 times out of 10, the behavior pattern we were waiting for kicked in one more time? I need someone to say yes or no before I can move on. Because if it's no, and I'm living in a delusional universe where I think all these times did what they did, then you need to have an intervention, and everyone needs to write letters and say, Michael, you used to be such a bright person, and then you started messing with the time signals, and now I am sad as you have squandered your potential. Okay, yes, it's crazy. It's bananas. And this isn't the only market that did it. It's the one most of you asked me about. So yes, when you admit that though, when you admit that, and the same thing, you see how it's happening over here on the gold chart? The time that, this is the most recent stuff, right? The gold signal up at 230, down at 355, up at 420. It's still happening in gold. It happened in the Dow today, E-mini Dow futures all across the session. All the times the software warned us about with the histogram times from 2 days ago, all the radar pings that came back positive for the mini Dow. Again, just so you know, I'm not making this stuff up. The signals can't change once they've been published. They're published. And you can see here, look, 333, 333, 430, 430, 236, 236. This has existed since Tuesday in 18,000 inboxes. And when we come back, Colin, and we ask the question, did the thing the submarine radar found, 12,000 lines of code, found time targets? And it said, hey, Vernon, when we get to Thursday, pong, watch for these times. Because I think there's something out there that's going to bite you in the butt. There's something out there that wants to kill us, take our account. When we look 2 days later, look, your eye goes, wow, it looks like he drew those in by hand. I know, because I used to say the same thing to other vendors. Other companies would show you this stuff after the fact. Other companies would show you this after the fact with their lagging piece of garbage indicators. And their guru would swear to you on a stack of fish-stamped Bibles that it was amazing. And then you, like me, would buy that tool. And you'd find out the signal doesn't appear till 5 bars later. You would find out that the signals disappear and reappear from your fish-stamped Bible-thumping guru friend. And you would say, what have I done? Have I made this purchase mistake again? Yes, we all did. And that's why I took apart the washing machine. That's why we took apart this market. And we said, how does it really work? And here's how it really works. Because otherwise, we couldn't do this. We couldn't do this. We couldn't analyze Bitcoin on a daily chart. We couldn't analyze Bitcoin on a daily chart and have the accuracy that we see here. We couldn't have known what dates the drops were coming and what dates the profit taking was going to kick in. So here's an important thing to note while we're here. Every chart on your screen when you own the software is going to look like this. It's going to have two sections. The section to the right, Colin, has the future time targets and directions. So down here, everything to the right of the current bar is a time target. And so in this case, all of the white times on the bottom are buying pressure times. And you can change the colors. If you don't like my blue and white, you can change them anything on this chart to any color that you want. And then conversely, all of the signals here, Vernon, they're warning us about dates in the future where a move is expected. Now, is it going to happen every time? No. The only guy who knew what was going to happen every single time, there were two of them, Martha Stewart and Bernie Madoff, and the senator from the great state of North Carolina with regards to selling all of his stocks right after the COVID report. But that's another story. Those guys make the banks look like choir boys. And you can see here, May 30th is the next time we expect a drop in crypto. Just like we expected that drop, Colin, on the 9th of May, the 25th of March, the 15th of February, and the 1st of December, and the 9th of November. And that brings us to the second half of the chart. This is what was expected. It's in the past. And so these signals are marking their GPS waypoints of what was expected, and it leaves a marker there above or below the candle to remind us, hey, I warned you on September 30th that there was a potential up move. And I warned you on March 25th that there was a potential down move. And it's a way to look at the chart and remember when the new signals are coming, hey, you can trust me, said the algorithm. Because look, didn't I warn you about all this other stuff in the past? On the daily time frame, I am generally hated in the E-mini S&P Facebook groups that I'm a member of. Number one, they don't trust any vendor. Number two, I'm right a lot. I'm right more than most of the knuckleheads who point their useless diatribe out of their rear end analyses. And so earlier in the week, I always come out and I warn people. And 2 days ago on Tuesday, I want you to read what I said. The move down today was therefore a flush panic move down before tomorrow's daily buying pressure predictive date, Wednesday. And can you guys see right here on my screen what I put in a post with 8,000 people? Some of you are here from that post. Vernon, look, Wednesday, May 25th. Now the news told me Armageddon, Ukraine, mass shootings, monkeypox, recession unlike anything we've ever seen. What do people do when they hear that kind of news, Jim? Mary, what do people do in their houses, in their comfortable work from home, brand new $50,000 add-on offices, when they hear that on TV from everybody. Analyst who predicted the 2008 recession says we're going to be eating dirt pies next week. What do people call and tell their broker to do? Come on. This is an interactive webinar. You can do this. What do people call and tell their brokers to do? Sell. Sell. Get me out of this thing. I was in the 08 bubble. I'm not going through this again. And I'm sitting here going, no, 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 no. All these are stop runs. These are stop runs. Don't do it. This is what these guys do. They create panic. They have volatility. They tell their buddies on MSNBC and CNBC and Fox Finance, Maria Bartoloma, Maria, I need you to do me a favor. Freak these people out. And then here I am 2 days later. Nobody believes me. 2 days later, there it is. Market's up 122 points from the open of Wednesday. Where did that come from? It's a time target. It was a time target. And I know when the next one is coming. Because I don't look at the news. I don't look at lagging indicators. I don't listen to gurus anymore. I opened up the washing machine and I found a rigged market. This is how the market works. And I follow the time targets. Oh, by the way, if you're an equities trader, you can use this software for everything. It's like a Swiss Army knife. If you look at the equities we've been following, you'll see that this works on a multitude of equities. If you're an options trader, for example, you can see that we can know the dates for Apple. We can know the dates for NVIDIA and AMD and Bank of America and Tesla and Twitter. We can see the times where banks are going into an accumulation phase. And we know until when that's about to occur. We can see where to look for calls historically and see that most of the time those moves are producing directional moves in our favor. Whether that, again, is for a market like Apple or for an extremely rigged market like Tesla. All the bad press right now. Elon Musk and Twitter, and he's borrowing things, and it's a distraction. China, monkeypox. No. The banks had a stop run right here. That's the stop run. They're doing it again. And everyone is selling their Tesla stock. And the banks are going, nom, 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 nom. Thank you for the wholesale prices. And that is going to continue until June 6th, probably. And the next call opportunity will be on June 20th. And then what? August 3rd. And then what? August 22nd. Well, why do you believe it? Because of what it warned me about on October 11th. Because of what it warned me about on December 27th. Because of what it warned me about on February 7th and April 4th. May the 4th be with you, and also with you. On April 27th and May 6th. I trust it over here because of what happened over here when I didn't listen to it. If you believe and you agreed with what we said earlier, that 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 of those signals 2 days later worked, ipso facto, you are colluding with me in the belief that markets are rigged. You're an accessory. Well, you know, you can say things, but there's no proof these guys do it. What? Sure there is. JP Morgan to pay $920 million for manipulating precious metals treasury market. They've agreed to pay more than $920 million and admitted to wrongdoing to settle federal U.S. market manipulation probes into trading of what? Metals futures and treasuries. Well, surely they're not doing that anymore. Surely when they got caught and paid nearly $1 billion. They're not manipulating the price of gold anymore, are they? They did it again at 2:30. They did it again at 3:55. They're doing it again right now after the market closed. They're still doing it. They're still doing it. This also works on the foreign exchange markets. If you're trading the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the Australian dollar, the software will work on any market that has two people buying and selling from each other. Australian stock index, Indian Nifty, South African stocks, Middle Eastern, Saudi Arabian stocks, anything you have a data feed for coming into your platform, the software will find the time targets. Pong! Now, any questions before I go the extra step? When I started with you, I said there were two things we were going to look at. So Colin, it's kind of fun to see that stuff, right? We know that there's a wizard behind the curtain and he's pulling those ropes and levers. Pay no attention to the banker behind the curtain. But how do we profit from that? Does this thing have an ice cube's chance in Hades of producing a positive expectancy? Now I have to be careful here, right? Because I'm not a certified trading advisor. I build tools, electronic washing machines for traders. So this is all hypothetical, right? What does the setup mean? Well, on the website that I gave you the forecasts for, I also gave you a rule set. It's here. I don't want to read it pound for pound, but I'm going to explain to you what the rules were for a very basic trading system. The first one is called a signal with trend. We're going to use a 120 period moving average, I said. We're going to have a stop that's 1.5 average true range values away. And we're going to exit at the opposite trading time. So in this example, a signal with trend is essentially this. We enter at the close of the candle. Our stop is 1.5 ATR values away. Now, does yours have to be that far or that close? No, it's adjustable. You can make it a fixed stop level if you want. We believe in dynamic stops. As volatility increases, your risk increases, and vice versa. You exit by the next signal. Moving average 120 EMA is going up. We enter at the close of the time-based signal. Our stop is 1.5 average true range values away. Colin, we hold it until the opposite selling pressure signal. Moving average is still climbing. At 7:12, we enter at the close of the signal candle. The stop is 1.5 average true range values away. We hold the trade until the opposite selling pressure signal. This is a trend trading system, a pullback system in many ways. It's the most basic one out there. Two cavemen trading coconuts and shells used a trend trading system. Coincidentally, when we ask customers, what are you using to be profitable, if you're profitable, 2/3 of them said, I use a trend trading system. So that's the one I want to show you. I want to set you up for success. So if we go back and look at that same chart we were analyzing the signals of, the E-mini S&P on a 5-minute chart, some really cool stuff starts to happen. You enter and exit with profit. You enter and exit with profit. You enter and there's the report, the econ at 8:35. So if you got out just before the report, you're safe, but if we track it, it's minus $8. The next signal with trend was from 9:50 until 10:25. The next one was from 10:55 till 11:30. The next one was from 12:05 until 12:50. Then we had one here from 1:15 to 2 o'clock, negative $2, and then one here until the close at 3:30, which is minus 8. And then that was the last one for the day. So in terms of available profit, theoretical, hypothetical, whatever you want to call it, let's add it up. Because remember, I gave you the trading rules the same time I gave you the times, 2 days in advance. Let's call it 11 plus 31 plus 21 plus 6 plus 8 minus 8 minus 2 minus 8. So Colin, that's 60 ES dollars from Euro to US session close times $50 per dollar is a hypothetical theoretical $2,900 per contract on the macro, nearly $300 per contract on a micro lot. Let's take out 20% for slippage and commissions. That's a $2,300 day. Now, when we go back and look at the signal versus the setup, here's what I want you to see. Everyone in this room agreed. No one had the cojones to say you are wrong and or delusional when I asked what percentage of the time did what we expect to see happen at the signal. You all said 60, 70% of the time. Then when we analyze the setup using trade rules I gave you on Tuesday, in one day, we're looking at over $2,000 theoretically, hypothetically, right? Per contract. Now, I'm not done taking apart the washing machine. I have access to software that lets me analyze those signals over time. And I asked the computer to go back and look, maybe not just today. What if we used a trend trading method over time? And so Colin, look here, just a basic trend entry system, no other confirmation, trading from 8:30 to 12 o'clock Eastern, no matter what the econ was or if it's an FOMC day. So here from April 4th until today, there's 238 executions. Margin of error is about 7 or 8%. Jacob, can you see here what I did with the Aurora output?
This is insanity.
In a month with one contract, we're up around $9,000. Right? Should that equity curve climb up to the right if what I've told you I believe isn't true? Ken, Chris, Mary, if the banks don't rig markets and there's no predictable times, is there any way this would work at all? Would I be able to do this one day in front of all you good people, or would I be able to test all of that? Well, I don't want you to believe me even for that. because my partner did a study with a group of customers 2 years ago. And Colin, can you see here, April 9th, 2020? He ran the same test on a 3-minute ES chart, and it has the same positive expectancy. And I had a customer ask about the NASDAQ. She traded it on a 1-minute chart, and it did the same thing across 937 executions. It had a positive expectancy, meaning you could trust it over time. We're looking for an edge. Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. If trading were a religion, and to some of us it is, if trading were a religion, there would be a book of Mark, and it would be this book. And Douglas says the #1 mistake people make is thinking there's a way to be right or wrong. I'm right, I was wrong, the trade won, I lost. He says, no, it's not that. Trading is a statistically relevant edge exploited over and over and over and over again over time. Then you add more and more contracts, and it compounds and it blows up. And guys, ladies, this appears to be a statistically relevant edge based on something that's undeniably different. Why is it different? It's different, Colin, because I know in advance when the signal is coming. I know how long that signal has to go. I know when my window is closing. I know what kinds of behavior patterns to watch for. Big wick candles, volume spikes, double bottoms, double tops, divergence. I didn't apply any of those filters here in my back tests. Just take every long signal in the direction of the trend. Get out at the next signal. Take every short signal in the direction of the trend. Get out at the next signal. That's what that is. No support and resistance levels. None of the stuff that you guys look at. In addition to things, raw time produced a positive expectancy. And today, it was over a $2,000 day in just one market. On the daily time frame, it was over $500 per contract on one signal that I told 8,000 people about in advance. And we do it over and over and over again in crypto, in futures, in equities, and stocks and options and forex. It's always the same. It's always the same. After 13 years, it's still happening because banks are still controlling all of it. They've never stopped. They've never stopped. I can tell you, I can ask you a question. Would you rather be in a class where the teacher tells you the day before when the quiz is coming? Or would you rather be in the class next door across the hall where the teacher tells you to pull out your pencil and paper because we're having a quiz? Which class do you want to be in? A lot of you have chosen the latter on purpose. You've come to this webinar 2 times, 3 times. Vernon, you're here again. And when you leave without this software, you're saying, I love pop quizzes. I love when people jump out of closets and scare me. I love not knowing there's going to be traffic on the road and getting caught up in it. I love being surprised like that. That's not what trading is. Trading is an estimation, a statistically relevant estimation about what will happen in the future. In the future. Back to the future trading. Most of you are trading with tools from back to the past trading, back to the lagging indicators trading.com, back to the guru, back to the freetrial.com. Doesn't work. Y'all have stories. I know your stories. Michael, I lost $10, $20, $30,000 in trading education and useless junk. Michael, I've lost $10, $20, $30, $40,000 blown out 4, 5, 6 accounts so far in the last 4, 5, 6 years. I don't understand. I'm smart. I'm a doctor. I'm a pilot. I'm a radiologist. I fly an A-10 Warthog for the Air Force. I've taken off from aircraft carriers. Why can't I trade? I'm smart. To quote Fredo, I'm smart. I know things. And yet you struggle and struggle, and it's always a struggle. You make money, you lose it. You lose money, you make it. Because trading isn't about what happened in the past. It's not what your guru thinks he knows. It's about understanding how this machine works. You trade when the banks trade. You stop trading when they stop trading. You understand that this is the thing that you're facing when you wake up every morning. Your little computer against JP Morgan's server farm is useless. Your little computer is useless. Your internet connection with your fiber optic cable, there's a fiber optic cable from the exchange to these banks the size of your leg. It gets there at the speed of light. Their order is there and back 100 times before your muscle in your left finger pushes the mouse button down. You are at such a disadvantage. And most of you were trading with tools from the 80s. I was convinced by a guy who told me that Jesus convinced him the 38% pullback was everything anyone needed to be a millionaire. God had given us the 38% retracement. Oh, okay. I believe you. Sure. That was a $7,500 bill. Doesn't work. And if it used to, it doesn't anymore. And a lot of you here are hesitant after everything I've shown you, everything you've seen, everything I've said. You're still going, no. You have this assumption. I met somebody who told me last week all of the retail traders will have been crushed by October. The banks are going to crush them. There will be no retail traders in the market in October. Where did you come up with that? I heard it from someone. Oh, that's an assumption. And his attitude and behaviors grew out of those assumptions. And so today I've gone to extraordinary lengths to prove to you that what we believe is in fact reality. Right? And these 12,000 lines of code that are helping thousands of traders all over the world level the playing field are finding time targets for these people every day. Every day. We find the trail the banks leave behind. We find it. It's there. It's right there. If you have the right tool, a tool that's trained to find it. These people have never had your best interests in heart. When Goldman gives a recommendation on a stock, watch it tanks. When they warn us that Armageddon is coming and there's no baby formula and Putin's crazy and he's got chemotherapy, World War III, blah, market shoots up. Market shoots up. This is the golden rule. This is my favorite slide. My dad used to say, Michael, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I was probably, what, 17 at the time? I was like, okay, Dad. It's not what you know, it's who you know. These are the people we track. This is who we know. I know more about these guys and when they do things and how they do things than I think they know. And I get asked every year, how come you're still alive? How are you still in business? What happens if everybody knows about it? Nobody cares. Do you understand? You're part of like less than 1/10 of 1/100th of 1% of traders that are even open to this. Most of your associates and fellow traders are using all the wrong junk, looking at fundamentals. What did this guy have to say? What did that guy have to say? Trading like the scene in The Wolf of Wall Street. Fugazi. It's an illusion. This is what most of those people are doing. My moving average said it's supposed to go up. My volume said it's supposed to go up. My MACD shows divergence. My guru that I pay $400 a month for in my special group, the guy with the English-Russian accent, said it's supposed to go up. They force the market. They think because the thing on my screen said it's supposed to happen, it's got to do that. And Goldman Sachs goes, I'm shorting the housing market. No, mortgages are good. This is what our customers do. Goldman gets in the car, get behind them. You push the air. You suck my order into your order. You pull my longs up with your longs. You pull my shorts down with your shorts. Wait, that didn't sound right. You get the point. We draft using the times that we uncover, in the software. Listen, this is what we believe. We're coming around the corner. We're coming to the end. And then I'm going to wrap it up. You win battles by knowing the enemy's timing and doing something the enemy doesn't expect. Hey, wait a minute. Why are all these guys selling when we're selling? Wait a minute. How did they know? How did Collins Group know we were going to short right now? Who told? Who gave Vernon our plan? We print our own invitations to the party. I'm tired of being bullied. I'm tired of hearing about what Jeff Bezos's yacht looks like and Elon Musk did this or that. And I'm tired of looking at Bill Gates and hearing about all their indiscretions and all the stuff they've done wrong and all the things they've not done and how they've mistreated their families and their wives and the divorces. And I'm over all of it. I'm printing my own tickets for us and for you. Sure, the world stinks. My wife would say people suck. That's her word, not mine. She's half Cuban, half Italian. You tell her. But she's right. But the people with the money, the 1% and above that are running everything right now, that's what the indicator needs to study, not the other stuff that you're looking at. So remember, we gave you all those times. Here's what I want to do. We are a for-profit company. If you want to work with the Salvation Army, bringing in the sheaves, you can go to their webinar. I want you to have the software. I want to teach you the setup. I want to give you my default workspaces and templates. I want you to get the training. I'm going to give you a discount here in a second. And then you're going to have a future based on what I perceive to be the truth. You've seen the truth here firsthand, right? This is the truth. There's no way this works. There's no way this can work unless what I told you is true. None. The chances of it are slim. Very slim. All right. So how do I get it and what's involved and what do I get? Blah, blah, blah. This is the fun part. I'm going to post a link into your chat box. The product we've been discussing is our flagship product, Tacheon WARP. This one, by far and away, is the one that all the people are using, all the people. Warp works with futures, forex, crypto, and equities. It works on the Ninjatrader platform, which has an API for TD Ameritrade. You can plug that into it. It works for, what's the other one? Interactive Brokers plugs into it. Forex.com plugs into it. E-Trade plugs into it. All these different platforms, you can port your data right over into it. Or if you have a Ninjatrader account, that's fine too. If you don't, Ninja's free for charting, and you can buy a third-party data feed for about 80 bucks a month. Pretty cheap. This is the program right here. And when you see what people said about it, these are real credit card carrying, receipt bearing customers that have said, I like it. It's amazing. It's fantastic. These are real people. They had an umbilical cord that was cut. They had a credit card that they used. They have a receipt that they can show you. Anyone who wanted to leave a review on Trustpilot can, and we're not allowed to remove any. Our very first review was 1 star. It's still there. It's still there, like a skin tag that I can't cut off. It's still there. Been using Warp a little over a month now, and I couldn't imagine trading with it without it. There's another customer in here in the Skype, in the GoToWebinar. He said, I would not trade without this program, period. And Tim has left. It's the real deal. The right tool. Good people, great software. I've been a customer. Try it, learn it, use it. You'll love it. Again, real credit card carrying, receipt bearing people who cannot have their reviews removed no matter how bad they are. No way we can post a fake review either. Trustpilot filters it all out. They check for IP addresses. It's draconian, but I love it because you can't game it, you can't fake it. When you click on the blue Warp button, I'm going to give you the link to get in here and follow along with me and purchase it. Can everyone see the link in the GoToWebinar chat box? Colin, can you see it? Vernon, do you see it? Click it. Your card will not be charged. All the way at the bottom of that page is a buy now button. This is the Willy Wonka ticket. I wanted it to look golden. Come with me and you'll be in a world of profitable trade setups. Nothing lags, all predictive, amazing. If you want a positive expectancy. All right, stop. If you click that orange button, this annoying pop-up appears. We have a class run by my partner that meets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think. And he shows live setups in the market every time. I asked him for a copy of his equity curve to date since January. And this is the account that he uses to track the setups that he teaches in the room. A little extra filtering. So from January to today, or this week, these are the setups that he executes in the training room that I'm showing you. Now, remember, theoretical, hypothetical, all that stuff in the disclaimer. But I want you to see, if you just kept track of what he did in there, it's another one of those positive expectancies. This is with futures markets, Russell, oil, ES, NASDAQ, 4 hours a morning, 3 days a week. That's what this class is. If you want it, it meets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. and it's 25% off if you add it to your cart, $149 a month. If you don't want it, you don't need it, don't click it. If you click go to the checkout without the room, there's a purchase agreement. This is here to protect you and me. If you're abusive with my staff, there's a clause in there. If you write raving lunatic emails with curse words about how poorly you've been treated because we didn't send you an ice cream cone on your birthday, you're going to get booted out. If you're a Russian hacker and you're trying to get in the code, we'll know if you are, and split it open and give it to 1 million of your closest friends, you get kicked out. At the same time, we promise to make sure it always works. We've been around for 13 years, 4 5-star reviews. If we know how to do anything, it's make sure the software works. It works. It's bug-free. We update it when Ninjatrader updates their stuff. That's our commitment to you. Please don't try to load this on a Commodore 64 or a Tandy 1000, as my partner likes to say. Okay? Now, over here is a place for a promo code. WARPOFF. 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 Promo code. Memorial Day sale. WARPOFF. All one word, lowercase, no spaces. WARP off. When you apply that, $500 disappears from my life. My wife hates promo codes. I say, honey, you got to give them a promo code. She said, why? So that's what you do. $500 off today. What does this include other than the keys to salvation? It includes 2 computer licenses. It includes lifetime updates. It includes free installation, free white glove installation with Rachel. It includes free video archive training. There are hundreds of hours of videos in our archive and a dozen fast, quick setup videos when you first get started. It includes, I think I'm missing something. Oh, the promo code for $500 off. And then our undying gratitude. We are a family, a small family of weirdos. We like our customers. We know about their kids and their hopes and dreams and when they go on vacation and the weird places they go and the things they do and their aspirations and the charities they're involved with and the things that they support. We are partners in that goal setting. I want you to be as successful as you want to be. And I take it very seriously. So all of us here at the company, we appreciate it. Those of you that bought before, we really do support you. And I hope you feel loved and supported, because we really do, as much as we can legally, love you. So thank you for that. Are there any questions about that offer and what's involved? Does anyone need any clarification on that? You can use your PayPal account. You can use your credit card stuff. If you have a wire transfer fetish and you need to use that from your bank in Dubai, we do accept wire transfers, and we will get you up and running and started. So Vernon, today is your day. Colin, today is your day. Jack is waiting for you on the other side. Chris, today's your day, Mr. Francone. Jerry, you already had your day. You're living La Vida Loca. You're having the awesome life right now. And thanks to all of you customers that are doing great right now. Ken, any questions? Tom, Will, Alex? If you're a customer and you want a copy of any of my workspaces, please email me afterwards, and I'm happy to send you my secret recipe settings and formulas and all that stuff. Everything is ready to go. All right. We are at the end of our journey together. I would love to be a part of your support crew. I would love to give you access to our customers, their experiences, our 26 cumulative years of experience doing this, thousands of customers watching markets over tens of thousands of hours with these tools. No one knows more about this than we do. Hands down, guarantee. Put me in a room with somebody. One of us is going to leave embarrassed, and it's not going to be me. I know this stuff, and I hope you'll give us a chance. Now, the Irishman in me wants to tell you, may the sun shine upon your face. May the wind blow gently on your back. May the valleys of adversity rise up and flatten in front of you. And may the mountains and obstacles before you lay low. We wish you health and prosperity and joy, all of the good things as the world burns. Keep that in mind. Time here is short. Ultimately, this software will save you time. We get 70, 80 years, and then who knows? One time around on the merry-go-round, right? If you don't want to spend more of that time sitting in front of a computer than you have to, we'll put you in front of the machine at the highest probability times we know how to. Save hours, days, weeks, months of your life. What's that worth? Is it worth more than $2,000? I think so. I think so. We love you. Thank you for your support. I look forward to you signing up. Vernon, Ken, Colin, welcome to the family. If you have any questions, reach out. Let us know how we can help, and have a great night, everyone. Jerry, take care. Bye-bye.